I want to see, trying to produce this video, like trying to produce a video, thinking about doing editing and all that on top of trying to do research and you know putting a lot of this stuff together. Trying to get together like an address book or a not really kind of an address book, but of names and numbers, and it's a little more an address book though because some people have more pieces, and then that would be more like there's a lot of work. I'm fucking overwhelmed with it. Like trying to organize. Like I need to organize my files, my bookmarks, my freaking paperwork. It's just Jesus Christ, man, it's a lot. Can I like pause life and like give me some time to sort shit out and get everything together and yeah, that's what I need time to like pause fucking life, get my shit sorted together, then like unpause when we're ready. Um, fucking kind of serious here. Editing. Oh, that can be fun learning how to do that. I've never really had any desire to make videos. But I tell you, there's a lot of instances in life that I guess it would have been nice if I had been recording. Able to share some of the things I've witnessed and just I don't know, I tried like a long time ago. I had a camera and just take photos, you know, and it was strictly just a camera before all the cell phones and all that with the cameras the other day. And I just didn't feel like, I just never felt like I could live and enjoy the fucking moment because I was always trying to capture it, and I was like, threw the fucking thing away. um, I like things simple. Keep it simple. Simplicity. Anyways, I don't know. I'm not sure what I'm doing today. It's not every day. I don't make fucking plans. I quit making plans a long time ago. Seems like every time I try to make plans, yeah, God laughs. It's like, why? Why bother? Very much just live just as it comes. Like, just take it as it comes. I suppose if I had more control over my life when I was younger, maybe I would have kind of veered off of that path. Because having control, a little more control over things, or the illusion of control over things, it's a blessing and a curse, I suppose. Oh man, something else I gotta do. That fucking yard mode. I fucking hate mowing that fucking yard. I used to enjoy mowing, not anymore. Oh God. Well, a little radical thing I could do to change life. I have several options, yeah, I do. Problem is, I just deciding which path to take on that. And a lot of things, I just you can't know the outcome until you go down that road. A lot of times, so and it's like that. Just about every choice we have, this way or that way. But growing impatient. It may not appear that way. It may not seem that way, but look, oh, an incredible amount of patience today. It's not used to. I've changed radically, like throughout this life. Looking back, like as a child, I don't know. I just don't know if I could have believed a lot of this, but then I don't know. I don't know. That's my fucking philosophy. Don't know. I feel that about a lot of fucking things. I just don't fucking know. do though, try not to think about too much because it fucking really pisses me off. Things I do now. I don't like to be pissed off. I don't like to have my peace fucking disturbed. I guess it wouldn't be bad if you're pissed off and there was something you could do about it in that fucking moment. You know, something to change it. But when you become pissed off and you feel like you've got no control over anything, and I believe that tends to lead toward violence. It's feel like running out of fucking options. But I've got a desire to act on violence. But I always say that there's going to be people that have known me and my family and people in the past that would not fucking buy that for a minute. But there's a reason I do not associate or hang out or visit those people anymore. There's some people that seem to know they seem to know what buttons to push to absolutely just wreck your damn peace, wreck your peace, wreck your tranquility, and just bring nothing but chaos into your life. And if I enjoyed chaos, I would seek that company out. Oh, well, it's, I don't know what really brought about a lot of the change, whether it was education or getting injured. Getting injured slowed me down, led me to doing a lot more reading. That was definitely what I would consider to be an adrenaline junkie when I was younger. Today, nothing would bring me greater pleasure than just a state of fucking ecstasy. Like, I would love that. I would choose that every fucking time. Design in this world, the pain you can experience
never seems to match, like, the opposite end of the spectrum. Like, it seems a little fucking shitty that I can think of some times where even at my most happy times, they don't compare to like the shit end of the spectrum. So much, it seems so much more extreme than the ecstasy side of it. The happy ecstasy and uh, see people walk around in life, and that's actually walk around with a big fucking smile and just filled with joy. And you meet those people, but it's an attractive thing. Like I want to know what that feels like. If you want to follow that path, you do. Ultimately, you'll end up in a cult, one degree or another. Don't go down that road. Love being a frequency. It appears to me like whatever's in charge of this realm, this world we live in, the worlds beyond it, that it's using that to its advantage. What was it to get out of it? I don't know. Yeah. But looking at what we have here, you have a hell of a lot more pain and misery in life than you do joy. So is the creator feeding off misery and pain like a is that the battery? Is that what powers this place? Man, wonder a lot of times what it would be like if we had what that experience would be like to live in a world where I don't know what the extreme end of the spectrum was, the ecstasy part, the good stuff. And the good stuff didn't require torturing someone else, making someone else feel lesser than you to be the good stuff. I was seeing it was a title on a video. I hope this comes to me. Well, it was something somewhere along the lines of cruelty being becoming a social status. That's not whoever come up with that title is a little confused, and cruelty has always been a social status symbol. In this world, it has, like, don't, it's like you do not know um, the royals, the royal family. Um, they were eating people like barbecue, and they weren't hiding it. It was one of the reasons it said a lot of people got pissed off. And is that not that not lead to the whole beheading of a king? When we get into even a foundation of rights, people are like, oh, the Constitution or the Magna Carta, the Magna Charter, or whatever, however you want to refer to it as being the foundation. But if you think about this for a minute, though, as far as Magna Carta, um, in law contracts, like, is that a valid contract? Because would that not have been signed under threat, duress? Like, you sign this, or we're going to kill you. So, what standing does that have today? If you go and you find yourself within the criminal justice system, do you have any rights when you find yourself there? This isn't for. Actually, I love this quote very quickly. I use it as a comment quite often. And I kind of people, I don't know. They don't react or read a lot of what I write, but I don't. I'm not. Like, I can. Like, don't get me wrong. I write some fucking stupid shit. Yeah, I can get people to respond, but when I write like this, the argument that the two parties should represent opposed ideals and policies, one perhaps of the right and the other of the left, is a foolish idea, acceptable to the doctrinaire and academic thinkers, is Carol Lee. Tried, where was I going with that? Come back to me. Come back to me. Where you go? They thought just like I took off. Oh well, fuck it. Fuck it. The way you want to be. And short out, you motherfucker. It's Short Circuit. It's a movie, and state of my fucking brain lately. Short Circuit. I don't want to do it, God. I don't want to do it no more. Just, fucking throw a load of drugs and let me go out fucking bender peacefully and just go to sleep and wake up, or the fuck wake up. It's not here. I don't want to wake up here. Don't let me come back here. Don't beg you, motherfucker. Stop. Shit. This feels like fucking Groundhog Day. I swear. It's like places a lot of times, and I don't hurt at all. I'm just there enjoying, and I don't seem to question a whole lot. Just really just. Uh, you know, first thing I feel is the way this fucking body hurts. And I look around like, fuck. Anybody else wake up like that in the morning? Like, grateful. And just, or grateful, even the thought of grateful is just like, no, fuck. Not again. I really enjoy nature sometimes. Sometimes I hate her. Because it's nice when you have everything you need. Boy, is it a bitch when everything's trying to eat you too. To eat you, make you soak wet, swamp ass, and everything else nature will throw at you. Everyone appears to be running. They're running. I want to leave the United States. Get away from this fucking tyranny. If your plan is sleeping, thinking you don't understand what's going on. You're not escaping anything because what you're running from will follow you. You don't understand what is going on. She had a smart ass remark this morning, a comment about what was it? Something about fucking climate change, and I asked, just let the what did it say? Something along the lines of how we got 100, maybe what? If we had 100 or 1,000 years, a record of the weather, we haven't got that. But, and not just temperature, but like very detailed movements of global weather. Um, how do you think that? How do you draw a picture of what the climate should be, given, say, you take the age of this Earth, whether you believe it's what 6,000 years to 4 billion years, or at 4 billion years, oh, like, where do you get off thinking? And I get there are different periods, but even in a 30,000 year cycle or a 120, you there's a whole lot of fucking information you're missing there to be screaming doom and gloom. And I get that, yeah, maybe we could use a little less oil. But the thing is, the fucking world is built to run on it right now. It's not like there's a fucking it's got to be a replacement that the market chooses. The market's going to decide what with we use to an extent. It seems like they're going to try to force everybody into electricity and get rid of oil for your private transportation. But you essentially can't get rid of oil. You'll never get rid of it. It we need it. Uh, Grease. There are machines that are running. Even if you go, they're going to have to be greased and oiled. You just can't run these fucking things, these joints, dry. It, I mean, I guess you could. I mean, especially if it's in a fucking go on nothing and be happy. Why grease it? Make you fucking replace the thing like even faster than you would if you didn't oil it. So I don't know what the fuck do I know, but um, until we come up with a better lubricant, oil's here to stay. Uh, if there are alternatives, uh, it doesn't fucking matter because we have a fucking psychotic fucking control grid. Like there's a psychotic fucking something running this fucking world, whether if it's human or fucking otherwise. Um, I tend to think there are people that Michael Primo, he makes there's some interesting things I've seen. I hadn't seen all this stuff firsthand, so I have to go off from what's presented, what I have access to, and God knows that when you're looking at the entire fucking picture, you're not gonna have you're not gonna be able to specialize in one particular area because it takes time. It takes time. We don't have to get into a particular area and learn, and you're either in one area or so. I mean, what I'm saying is I don't have any answer. I just have a lot of fucking questions. If anything else, it just leaves more questions for me. The fracking skulls and the sutures in the skull. That's it. That's interesting. Whether those are real skulls. That that says something. Uh, and I don't discount them. The fact that they're, I think I don't have any doubts. I know a time in my life I did where I really just didn't think about it. I just shoved it out of the back of my mind. But I've seen things kind of glitch into this reality, out of it. That type of phenomenon. That's hard to. That's a hard thing to prove. I mean, because you'll never know if and when something like that is to occur. And that's part of back what where I'd wish I'd had video, maybe a little more recording of things, but you know, um, I just didn't think about it at the time, and no, I could have got a camera. I could have wish I could have worked and we would have got a camera and set it up and filmed it. I just never ever seen. I just never. Yeah. Shit progressed. It started out and it progressed to a point I just never would. You would have. I would never predicted it. I would never seen it coming. Had I known that was the direction it was going to go, of course it would have probably crossed my mind. I mean, it did when I seen that dragon. I was like, man, I wish I had a camera to film this, or I wish I could shoot down and fucking like said this. Like, what the fuck, dude? Y'all said this. These motherfuckers were gone. Like, nobody know about? Like, why is this not classified as a living fucking being? I know I'm not the fucking only one seeing this. There ain't no fucking way. I've seen it. Somebody else has. I fucking knew that. I knew that fucking was. I was like, I don't know. I was a young teen, 13, 14, I guess, when I seen that. And know what I fucking saw. And fucking in the daylight, broad fucking daylight. You don't mistake a fucking dragon for a fucking bird or a fucking robot or a fucking drone or none of that. It was. It was part of. When I seen it, that's what like fucking pterodactyl, except for they've seen this fucking thing. I'm almost certain it had a fucking tail on it with the like a diamond spade. Like, I'm not 100%, but I swear that fucking thing had a tail on it, like a fucking dragon. And that head, I'm telling you, they had that beak. The way that thing, it was just massive too. I thought I was on the fucking menu, I'll tell you that. That's how big it was. As big as I was, it wasn't, I was probably, 140 pounds at that age. And then, I don't know what the fuck my height would have been, but I definitely felt like I was in the fucking menu when I seen that thing flying at me. It was like coming. Trying to think. In the mornings. I guess it would have been the west. Been west. Northwest. I think more west. But not seeing another one since, but not in person. I have on film. There are a couple of clips I've seen that, but like that's it. That's fucking most definitely it. Like that. And there are others that are like, that's a fucking toy. That's fucking fuck you for fuck you. And there are a lot of AI that's like, fuck you. You just to capture the essence of a living being. As far as I know, I think that's very fucking difficult. But then again, I say that they're okay. Say the Greys are little robots, like a lot of people say. So that's a thing. Fuck, I've not seen it move, so I can't tell you. But I think a lot of people do say they have a robotic kind of fucking movement about it. If that be the case, yeah, life would be hard to imitate. It's essentially what I was getting at, but this isn't even the direction I wanted to go. I was just going to go through a couple of clips of whatever the hell is going on in the world today. And I'll just sit here about 40 minutes rambling. Still need to go. I've got fucking paperwork everywhere. I would like to get together and organize. There's a lot of this I'd like to put together. I don't know. I mean, I don't know how much fucking work I want to put into it. I don't want to create something that is so fucking thick that nobody's gonna fucking read, but then I don't want to be so fucking vague that that it sounds like I'm nuts either. You know, like enough documented evidence to prove my fucking case. Say fuck you, and this is how it's gonna fucking be. And if you got a problem with it, well, fuck you. I'm gonna play this for a second. I don't like to listen to it, but
and you're gonna cross through this thing, and you don't know what's on the other side, but there's other people there, and you're gonna be part of something now.
The thing I do is get the gist of what they're saying. In a lot of cases, they appear to be genuine, and a lot of body language appears to be truthful. I will make no other name. Now, if it's interesting enough, I do further digging. If I find the subject to be of enough importance to maybe get attention, that would get attention, and I know, like this fucking. It matters, but sometimes things like we feel like matter most. And actually, I was thinking about this morning. May not fucking matter at all. Like, I was sitting there and I was thinking, at the end of this life, am I going to be standing before something that's telling me, well, all the work you did doesn't mean shit. That you didn't. And I'm thinking that how they would be right in that situation. And I didn't focus on the right thing. But logically, what we have here in this world today is fucking reality. That would be a fucking deception. That they would be filling my head full of shit and be absolutely wrong, and I would just fucking go with it and agree with it. To say that a fucking evil, fucking demonic, satanic, Luciferian, fucking occult, I don't give a fuck what name you put behind it. Call it evil, but then, like, what is good, what is evil, essentially. And there's some clear-cut lines, like, people can stake down the middle, but when you're talking with a lot of these people that have kind of died and come back, they bring back these philosophies, and it's what it is. It's a philosophy. It's a belief that ultimately there is no good and fucking evil, and that all as horrible as that may be, it's just what the fuck is up with this? Is this world fucking lunacy? That's
I gotta use the restroom.
On the inside, it's
I may have to
structured
come
like
back.
a
I
secret
do.
society. Oaths, rituals, secret initiation rites.
I'm getting
One of
this
the main
lady's
functions of
name
those
in
early
the little
initiations is to get you
background on
used to the idea of authority. The fact that it's a hierarchical top-down organization and that you are subjected to military discipline from the minute that you come in the door. Really needs to be driven home about OTO. It's not a few bad apples. It really is an organism, but all it produces is corruption and abuse. All men in OTO have access to women, and they use that access. They were waking up in the shower with him, accepting a drink from him, and then not remembering anything else that happened. It was kind of a similar MO. He is still in the organization. When that information was passed along to leadership, they did nothing with it. Do not be alone in a room with somebody who's 6th degree. Not because they're going to do something to you, but like what would you do if they did? You have literally no recourse at all. I served as a local body master. I stood at the door. I was the point of contact saying, come in. This is safe. My conscience wouldn't allow me to just walk away from that and be like, whoops, I guess I was wrong. It was like an immediate inside coordinated response of, let's destroy this person's reputation immediately to just cut this off at the root so nobody listens to him. What have I been doing?
Lay down my autonomy. After that, it got very morbid. Hey guys, my name is Shalise Ansola, and this is Close to Consciousness, where we discuss leaving high-demand religions or organizations and find healing and independence through awareness and true individual sovereignty. If you're only listening on those podcast platforms and you prefer to see our faces, you can go to YouTube at Close to Consciousness. It truly is the best way to support the podcast if you watch on YouTube, because you can interact with the post. It boosts it to more people, so more can become aware of these culty things, these manipulation tactics, and control tactics. Today's guest, he reached out to us through our Jot forum. This is a reminder that you can submit if you would like to come on the show and tell your story. You can find that in our About section on YouTube. And there's just a little link, and you fill it out, send us a video, and maybe we get back to you. So, today's guest, we are talking about a group that we have never touched on before. In fact, even with my research, I was just finding out, through speaking with our guest, that all of that information was wrong, and it was all a moot point to even look into it because there is not much information. Because it is a secret society and a cult society, today's guest was part of it for 11 years and rose to the ranks, and we're going to talk about why he eventually left and why he believes it fits the parameters of the cult. So thank you so much for joining us, James Racino.
Thanks for having me.
Yes, and I just realized I didn't even say the name of the cult, which is Ordo Templi Orientis, or OTO for short, which I'm sure we'll use most of the time. So, for those who aren't familiar, which is probably everybody, and myself, can you give us a little bit of a rundown of the history, what it is essentially, and then we'll get into why you decided to join?
Yeah, so Ordo Templi Orientis, or OTO, is an esoteric initiatory organization. It presents itself as a modern continuation of the Western occult tradition. The most famous person associated with OTO by far is Aleister Crowley. So Aleister Crowley was a British occultist who lived in the first half of the 20th century. He didn't found OTO. It was founded by German Freemasons who were interested in creating an esoteric Freemasonry society. But Crowley joined it in the early 20th century and eventually took it over and infused it with his mystical religious philosophy, which is called Thelema. Thelema is a Greek word. It means will. And the sort of central tenet of Thelema is do what thou wilt shall be the whole of the law, which is the idea that each person has a true will or a divinely appointed purpose in life that it's for them to discover and to live out. OTO has a public facing side to it, which is like a church, so it's not completely secret, but on the inside it's structured like a secret society. So there are oaths, rituals, secret initiation rites, and a hierarchical ladder that you're expected to climb. On paper, OTO is about things like individual liberty, sovereignty, brotherhood and sisterhood, self-discipline, spiritual enlightenment,
So wait a
all
minute.
like really wholesome
Yeah, sounds
concepts
great.
that a lot of people are into. Yeah, really great sounding stuff.
Who's the whistleblower?
The reality is very
Is this the
different.
whistleblower or is this
The
the host?
reality is that above all else, OTO rewards loyalty. It rewards silence. It
He's the
punishes
whistleblower.
critics. It tears down anybody who publicly speaks out about
Then
it.
it's his name I wanna
And
get. Okay.
it protects predators, especially when they're well connected and high ranking.
Yeah, and I know that was a big reason for why you eventually left, which we'll get to. But I just have to say, I think it's interesting that this group kind of bridges the gap, or maybe it started the whole thing of branching off into Mormonism, because Joseph Smith was a Freemason, which is kind of part of OTO, and also, interestingly enough, connects our interviews with our vampire guests, where they were deeply involved with Aleister Crowley. I'm like, oh my gosh, all these interesting ways that these groups are connected, but also totally different.
Yeah, Aleister Crowley is just this towering figure in 20th century spirituality. He
Um, I don't, shit, I don't know, man.
was the person who kind of took this kind of mysticism called ceremonial magic and like brought it into the mainstream. He had a big influence mostly on artists and musicians. So huge influence on Kenneth Anger, who was a filmmaker, big influence on Jimmy Page. He's on the cover of Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band, the album. Of course, there's the Ozzy song, Mr. Crowley. So he's just this towering figure who has like influenced so many different aspects of the like kind of modern like occultism and spiritual but not religious movement. But there's this one particular organization that has his name attached to it because he was a member of it, and it's OTO. And that's really why OTO has any kind of notoriety at all, is because Crowley was such a big figure in it.
Right, and also, I don't know how much they went into this when you were in OTO or if it was even a part of it, but it seems like he also had a reputation of just being extremely scandalous for what he was up to, because I think from my research, who knows if it's right anymore, right? YouTube, you never know. But it was saying that maybe he was bisexual, and so he was considered a sexual deviant, and he was introducing sex magic into his rituals, which was, everyone was just shocked in that day and age, right?
Yeah, that's all correct. He was bisexual at a time where it was illegal to be so. I believe Oscar Wilde was imprisoned for homosexuality, and Alan Turing, in the same country that Crowley was from, had to undergo chemical castration as a punishment in the 1950s. So yeah, there's an aspect of Crowley's notoriety which is really just kind of rebelliousness for its time and not really serious.
Mm-hmm.
And so Crowley's spirituality is very much associated with transgression of different kinds, and that has its positive and negative sides to it, which we can discuss in the context of OTO.
Okay, so I assume we're going to learn a lot more about OTO as a whole through your story. So let's get into how you were introduced into it and what made you think, oh, this looks really interesting and I want to learn more.
Yeah, so I've been a lifelong seeker. As a child, I marveled at the fact that anything existed at all, and in my adolescence, I got really into psychology and existential philosophy, and I studied it in school, and later on I got into meditation and Buddhism, and eventually became interested in ceremonial magic. Ceremonial magic is sort of like an offshoot. It's not like there's like some overlap with witchcraft, but it's not really like earth-based. It's more like angelic magic, I suppose, is kind of how I would describe it. It involves like, you draw circles and draw pentagrams in the air and chant divine names and summon divine powers, things of that nature. And that kind of got me eventually into Aleister Crowley, because he was this, like I said, this overwhelming figure in ceremonial magic and occultism. It's sort of like, if you start to go into that orbit, you're eventually going to get attracted to Aleister Crowley, because he's the most important occultist of the 20th century. When I was in my early mid 30s, I had a mystical experience, and I decided that my life needed to change. I had lived in New Jersey up until my entire life at that point, and I had this experience that told me that I had to move across the country. And so I packed what I could in my car and I drove cross country, and I moved to the West Coast sight unseen. I just felt this sense of like destiny about it, like something was waiting for me there. And not long after I moved out here, I decided to look online and see if OTO was in my city. I'd moved to Seattle. I had read about Crowley and read about OTO back when I was in New Jersey, and so, but I only really kind of looked into it once I moved here because I was like, I don't know, like, what am I going to do with my time? And sure enough, there was like an OTO local body, like about a 5-minute drive from where I live, and they were having a ritual that weekend called the Gnostic Mass, which is like the main public ritual that they do in OTO. So I kind of worked up my courage, and I was like, okay, let's go see what the Aleister Crowley people are like. And they were really nice and really like low key, and their hospitality was good, and I felt welcome and comfortable, and I found myself drawn into like fun and interesting conversations with people. I was meeting other people who were also spiritual seekers and also interested in magic and mythology and things like that. The way I would describe like getting involved in OTO is that it's like a highly immersive environment, because I don't know how familiar you are with like Western esotericism, but it's very symbol rich. You've got like tarot cards, the astrological signs, alchemy, like all the weird alchemical signs, like the main ritual of OTO, the Gnostic Mass, is like this beautiful, intense pageant where like people are dressed up in these like Egyptian costumes, kind of, and one of them has got like a lance, and there's a grail, so it's got like the grail mythology. It's so rich, and it stimulates your imagination because there's so many different ways to interpret it. For me, it was kind of like I had gone on this journey. I was having like the journey of my life. It brought me from like the East Coast to the West Coast, and I landed here in this container that was just so like engrossing and so dazzling. And I liked the people, and eventually, after a few months of doing it, I worked up the courage and I asked for sponsors to initiate. That kind of set me off on the journey. I would say that over the course of a few years, there was like a shift that happened where I stopped being a consumer of OTO and became one of its builders locally. But I would say that first, the sort of like, the preface to the story was, the sense of like landing somewhere that was just so immersive and so stimulating to the imagination, and it's being up all night and laughing with people and making jokes and sharing hospitality. It was just so cool, and I know a lot of people who join OTO have a similar experience to that.
It was the community aspect of shared or similar interests that attracted you to this group, and obviously too, and people tend to forget this, a cult doesn't generally scream, "We're a cult," like it feels very warm and welcoming. Sometimes there's love bombing involved, not that that was your case. It seemed like people were genuinely kind, but it does happen frequently where you get the biggest, best experience right when you first walk in, and everyone's so happy to see you, and then things can often change as time goes on. So for you, jumping into this community where there's this magic and this symbolism everywhere, and I even watched a video that I think it was from OTO themselves who put it out, so I don't think it's fake, this one, but the way that they dress, it feels almost medieval in a sense, right? Do you feel like that's a good description with like the cloaks and the sashes and the hoods and stuff?
Yeah, it's not medieval. It's a particular kind of costuming. It sort of depends exactly what you looked at. If you were looking at the Gnostic Mass, people dress in these like cloaks that I guess they might seem medieval, because like the priest wears a crown, and like the priestess wears like a dress and a girdle. So I guess that and there's like a lance and a grail. So yeah, I guess that part is medieval. I would say that the other rituals, the vibe is more like ceremonial magic meets Freemasonry. So it's got more of like a late 19th century, early 20th century vibe to it. But yeah,
Stop that.
medieval certainly for the Gnostic mass. I could see that.
Okay. Yeah, so it does seem, if you're interested in those types of things, really fun and alluring and exciting and different. And if you have a group of people that also are really into it, I could see how it would be a fun place to be. So, what is it, or what was your perception of it initially when you realized?
Hi guys, thanks for tuning into an episode of Nuggets News. Today we've got a very special guest, and that is Fiona Barnett, who was the first to speak out about satanic ritual abuse, the secret societies, and how this all works in Australia. Her documentary Candy Girls racked up hundreds of thousands of views on YouTube, and she's back publishing and speaking out again after being away from the scene for a few years, Fiona. So I'll let you talk about kind of what you've been up to and this journey and everything, and hand the floor over to you.
Well, thanks for having me, and I hope I can provide some information to support fellow victims out there of this Epstein-style trafficking network. That's why I did it in the first place, and that's all I'm interested in. Never monetized anything. Somebody else sold my book online. I asked Amazon to take it down. They didn't. So, yeah, I'm not in this for any reason. If anything, it has caused one hell of a backlash. I basically, I came out, well, I've been speaking for decades, but with the internet and all that, I came out publicly on the internet, probably 2011. About then I started posting on some really old sites that I don't even know they exist now, but and testing the waters. And then I wrote some articles on Independent Australia, David Donovan's site, which he copped a lot of crap for, but now he's vindicated. He was attacked by the Epstein mob through Media Watch, ABC Media Watch Australia, who's a government, our national broadcasting network, and manned by pedophiles. So I came out, and what I did, and that's, so those articles 2013, 2014, I think Anthony Kidman died 2014, and I wrote articles about that. He was one of my main perps, and that controversy, that caused hell. So I was pursued by his family's PR team after that, and they hired ex-military, hired mercenaries to come after me. What's happened since? Yeah, well, I did a lot of stuff. Then they just started trying to, they just started shooting people and setting them up. So they failed to plant weapons on me and get me to breach very vague anti-terror legislation that was brought in around 2010 because I studied that legislation at uni and I knew what it was and how vague it was. So I didn't accept all the guns I was offered, and didn't accept refused to endorse all the t-shirts with, pedo hunters written on them with, targets and things and hangings, nooses and things. They came up, Scott Morrison personally came after me using Tim Stewart. There was a media blackout on being able to identify Tim Stewart. And so the ABC came after me. Came after me on Media Watch when I first gave my national press conference outside of the Royal Commission back then. And then Media Watch, ABC came after me again through a Four Corners series, a special about Tim Stewart and saying he was QAnon when I don't believe he was at all. Tim Stewart brought actor Isaac Cappy out, and now people have to understand that Isaac Cappy was only activated, he was an MK asset, he was only activated by Michael Aquino for one reason, and that was to take me down. So I was on, calls with Tim Stewart, whose wife was his bridesmaid at Scott Morrison's wedding. So Cappy came out and he failed to do what he was supposed to do. In fact, the opposite happened. He became a Christian and he didn't betray me totally at the end. And so I don't hold any ill feeling against Cappy. But he came out and failed to get some of these police agents into my home who were connected to Paul Mullen's Fixated Persons Unit. So Paul Mullen, who was employed by British military intelligence and the royal family to cover up Prince Andrew and imprison or anyone who took out against any elites, the royal family, etc. And he wrote articles
like
in, for example, in 2008, around the time of Epstein's release, saying anyone who does this has a mental illness, who speaks out against the royal family.
Every time I turn around.
So they didn't manage to get him in, get the police agents into my home through Isaac to frame me as a right-wing conspiracy nutter and a terror threat. And apparently we're worse terror threats than what happened, the people who perpetrated Bondi Beach, according to Paul Mullen. So they didn't manage to do that, and Isaac went back and I said, Isaac, they're going to kill you, you'll be dead within, a month, they're going to hit you. Anyway, he went back. I told someone in America, Ty from Out of Gate, who was doing some filming and stuff, social media work. I told her the day before Isaac died, I said, he's going to die, he'll be dead tomorrow. And she rang me the next day and said, he's dead. So I know how they work. That was Michael Aquino. Isaac tried to give me, he gave me 4 of Michael Aquino's numbers, personal mobiles and things. He said, do you want to talk to Michael Aquino? I was trying to get me to talk to Michael Aquino. And I went, hell no. Anyway, then Isaac was assassinated, and I know who did that. And then after that, who was it? And it was the military assassinated him. And then after that, what was that? 2019. The beginning of 2019, I, in a dissociative state, when I, wrote that book, which right now I wouldn't have the balls to write. But I wrote that, and that was released early, not 2019, the first edition. Well, Isaac, was dead, and then, what was it, mid-19 or something, and then Michael Aquino died straight after that, within 2 or 3 months. So what people have to understand, and note this, I am the prize target when we talk about all this stuff. I was what you call Project Alice. So I was conscripted age 1 into the military. I was targeted from birth. And IQ tested from age 1 really with simple tests and colours and blocks and questions and things. And so I knew answers given from my earliest age, from age 1 in my Nazi step-grandmother's, or whoever she is, kitchen.
David.
And Wendy Louise Walker, who was trained by Martin Orme when he came out in 1960 to train it.
The reason I won't push David is because I don't know if I saved it, or if I did, if I can find it. But there was an interview with a older fella now, much older, that made some claims about David that about what he did to him as a kid. So yeah, and that's come to pretty much my fucking opinion. I come to fucking expect that out of anyone on the fucking stage. I wish I remember the fella's name. I'm not very organized. I know I made note of it. It was something I would have liked to got some answers about, at least, and have other people ask those same questions to determine whether or not what the truth was, no matter what it be.
Everyone in how to, unethical hypnosis, but how to basically rape and torture kids. So that was grandmother's kitchen from my earliest memory, abusing me. And when I was about 3 when
anyone coming from
the
within
preschool
side,
ABC
claims like that
play
definitely
school
wanna
presenter John Hamden
investigate. Like,
raped me
I
age
think
3
we should
on that same kitchen
file
table,
a
my grandma's
list.
kitchen table, in
I would
front of
like
one
to
of his
have an
Walker
evidence list of
Hanson
different
kitten or whatever.
people
So what people really have to
that
understand
would
is
just
when you
do
read
our
all
own
this
court.
Epstein rubbish, and I think people are just starting to get a taste of how dark this crap is,
Send out
and
a
what we've been trying to say
like
for
we'll
years,
mail out the
and being mocked publicly,
invitation. You're
and
invited
our lives destroyed, and finances
summon
destroyed, and reputations destroyed.
Answer for these charges.
For saying
And
is it's even worse than that. And I think what
in
people,
capacity,
so I came out saying things years ago,
we're going to be,
and I released things incrementally.
With the,
and as
we're
I
not
thought,
going to be using legal
public
deception,
believed this. So
legal
first I went to
language.
mainstream press,
We
and
just get down to the damn facts.
there was a local newspaper, and they were teetering on whether to do a front pager on when Auntie Kibben died and on me and everything, and that would have made it all mainstream. I tried very hard to go mainstream. Dylan from the National Enquirer in America, Nicole Kidman threatened him with a legal letter. He was going to run the story. Who else was running the story? And it was just shut down. Maybe. Even when I gave the press conference in Sydney,
we get the
Sydney Morning Herald treated me the best. The photographer was lovely. Took flattering photos, whereas everyone else tried to make me look hideous. But she, I was number one story in Sydney Morning Herald back then, or over 10 years ago, when I took to the cameras about, all these pedophile politicians and being trafficked to Parliament House, Canberra, and trafficked, to, world leaders and things. Anyway, I said what I thought people could handle, and, I was called nuts for it, and a fantasist. And
get a signature on it.
When I exhausted, I was totally blacklisted by mainstream press, even though I held the respect of non-complicit journalists, and I do to this day. I did a lot of work for that. I'm the one who exposed Derek. I'm the one who got the cops to set up task force. I'm the one behind all that, even though dirty journalists took credit for all that, right? If I had a story, I handed it to select journalists I thought we could trust. Anyway, so I was doing all this work in the background, and a pedophile ring in the hometown I grew up in, all this sort of thing, and the hog tie doctor on the Gold Coast, who used to write all the doc's reports that stole.
There's actually quite a bit I'd like put together, and well. I don't know if I should continue working and record or just post this as it fucking is. But who knows? I've rolled that fucking camera, and it does keep me busy. Like, okay, I'm talking to someone. Let's fucking. I'm not just sitting here, nothing to really. I sit here. No tell what I do, whether I work, play, try to fucking meditate, or just something. I don't know. It just depends on. A lot of it just depends on how this body feels and what it's going to allow me to do for the day. Like yesterday, not a good day. Fucking. So I don't know. Maybe I'll post this and go from there, or let it roll. Wish I had some fucking help, guys. Would you fucking please? It'd be nice one time if there was a good fucking guy, a good fucking. Take me up there, or come down here and sit with me. Just, or little fucking something. Jesus. Like, yeah, you're fat. You're doing, or what? There's a sterile for the space too. They're gonna do that. And, see where it ended up. If you've never done it, I guess you wouldn't know what the fuck you're talking about. But I'm set here. Like, next thing I know, I'm somewhere else. But outside, in buildings, just not really know where I was. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. And just be there. Sometimes I've been in places I know, like, that existed, but they're no longer standing. I don't know, but it's fucking weird to tell you that. Like, looking like I'm in there. The next minute I know, I blink my eyes and I'm back here. Like, what the fuck? I don't know. But that's nuts. Can that's a weird question. I don't even know if I want to ask it, but I guess I will. It's like, you think we can find yourself in one of them worlds, and, like, be there long enough to investigate it, and, like, maybe not snap back to this one. Does it feel just as fucking real as this one? I'll tell you that. Now, if it's any better or not, I don't know. It might be a fucking nightmare. I don't know. That's nuts. That sounds so nuts. It does. I hate time, and I really dislike gravity. Not all the time, but sometimes gravity pisses me off. I wouldn't mind, like, okay, I dropped something. Gotta get up without bending down. It'd be nice. Or bend down it without. That would be nice too. I guess I'll just